Hello, I am with Uwe Henning, who is the Marketing Development Director for Intelligent Labels at Avery Dennison. Hello, Uwe. How are you today?
Hey, Cyril, I'm really good. How are you?
Good, good. I would like to understand, what does your role encompass on a day-to-day basis? What do you do? What is the scope of your activities at Avery Dennison?
My team and myself, we're very much supporting our what we call commercial organization. In the old days, you would say salespeople, and bringing expertise on intelligent labels to the retail market.
Excellent, thank you. Some people may have never heard about intelligent labels in the retail industry. Maybe you should start by highlighting what are the key benefits of intelligent labels for the retail industry.
Yeah, I mean, in today's time of massive consumer demand on omni-channel, we all know this. Knowing what you have and where it is for a retailer or for a brand is what I would say is essential. If you want to commit to a customer, yes, you can pick this shirt in this color and this size, you can pick it up tomorrow at Champs-Élysées in Paris, and then the customer's coming to the store and the size is wrong or the color isn't there, the shirt isn't there, you're disappointing. And in these days, item level visibility and high accuracy of information is essential to keep the customer being a customer. And that is what intelligent labels brings to retail, accuracy of inventory data.
So that's great. And can you help us to understand what technology do you use to bring this accuracy in retail?
Of course. So the main thing on everything what is logistics, supply chain, so as a retailer or brand owner, you want to know, is this shirt in this Champs-Élysées store? It's a supply chain application that is handled by a technology called RFID. It's not new. And in apparel retail, actually, it's working since 15 years. And it's very easy for us to get this technology into a label and make a label intelligent, because the printing of the label existing already. There is a price label on each product. We are just putting something in what's called an inlay. It's a chip and an antenna. And from that moment on, this label is intelligent and the item, the t-shirt, can speak to you.
That's great. Can you give us some use cases about how people can use these intelligent labels to shop or to interact in stores even?
Absolutely. And intelligent labels is RFID on one end, what I just described, but we also have a massive increase on the use of QR codes, what we all know. Let's start with RFID first. This is mainly for inventory management. Using my example of omni-channel, you as a consumer, me as a consumer, we may want to go downtown on a Saturday afternoon, go shopping, but you know your size, you know what you're looking for. So in these days, you may want to pre-check, is inventory available in the store that you are going? And that is what RFID delivers. It's mainly a supply chain inventory technology. So it helps the logistic companies, the logistic providers to make inventory available to you. The other technology I just touched on, QR codes. We all know QR codes. It's not new. But in the past, it was boring because you were scanning it and it just moved you to a corporate website. But now in these days, the QR code has much more content. In fact, it's a product website. And the consumer can have much more engagement with the brand, with the product. How can I recycle this item? Are there other colors available? What have others bought to it? So again, it makes a product intelligent.
Great examples. And well, you don't know, but a few years ago, I did a similar project for a fashion retailer in London, and we were exploring the idea to implement RFID in store to really build the experiences that you were highlighting in terms of inventory, supply chain management, and in-store navigation extra. And one of the challenges that we faced was the scanners at the time basically couldn't catch one single item at a time. So basically, the scanner was like reading 3-4 items at a time. So it was very inaccurate in terms of technology at the time. These things have evolved, but I've just highlighted one example, but what are the other challenges that retail can face in adopting this technology and intelligent labels?
That's interesting. I mean, that the RFID using in apparel retail is there for 15 years. And the example you just described is one of the big benefits is you can do a stock take, like you do a cycle count with one of these handhelds in a few minutes, because you're just going around the rack and you're counting all shirts or all denims, whatever items it is, in a few minutes. While with barcode, you need to touch everything and read and read and read. Software has evolved, technology has evolved, technology got much more mature. And because of the high adoption, the pricing for this went down dramatically. So now with the pandemic, the adoption of RFID even increased even more, because RFID users reported during the pandemic, they can utilize store inventory to fulfill e-com. And we all know during the pandemic, e-com was growing through the roof, but they can use their store inventory while others didn't. We see a massive project increase of RFID in apparel since the pandemic. And just to put some numbers, every year, over 10 billion garments are RFID tagged. And I think, and we all know, this is happening not because the technology is not mature or it is not working. The technology is there.
Great. Also, in preparing this interview, I was thinking, what are the other use cases where intelligent labels could be used or are even already used? Do you have other examples beyond retail where it is used commonly?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, apparel retail was obviously the first segment or category where it started, and it's massive adoption. But there are some retail categories close to apparel with the same problem. Like if you go to beauty cosmetics, I mean, when I'm absolutely not the expert, when I'm looking on lipsticks, I didn't even know that there's so many red lipsticks exist. For me, it's red. If you ask my wife, it's 50 versions of red. But having the right product in the moment in time when the consumer wanted it, it's the same problem for cosmetics, like in apparel. So at the moment we are adopting RFID in beauty, even categories that have been difficult in the past, like food, because in food you have aluminum foils on cheese, you have liquids involved, everything what makes radio frequency not easy. Even these categories now starting. And the main driver behind all these things, even if you look into pharmaceuticals or whatever, the main driver is now the consumer is asking for more reliable information, not only on availability. Consumers asking even more information about a product. They ask, how was this made? What is inside? Can I recycle it? How can I recycle it? What's really in it? Who transported it? What's the carbon footprint? So the demand from the consumer on information, on data is massively growing, and making a product intelligent is the first step, and I would say across all categories, across all industries.
Thanks. Really interesting and fascinating to see how now the customer are in power and how the decision purchase they made are based on information that previously were not available. It's really the combination of, as you said, technologies that have been there for a relatively long time, but the combination and the aggregation of data and the sharing from suppliers, retailers into end consumer consumable information, that's really, really powerful now.
Absolutely.
How do you anticipate the adoption of intelligent labels in the next 5 years? How do you think we are going to see it everywhere?
Oh, I mean, 5 years. In these days of technology, we all know 5 years is a long time. In the past, 5 years was not so long. It comes every day, new stuff is coming, and we all know this. I would say having a digital identity on each item is coming, and it started in apparel, it started in retail, it's in automotive for years, and it will be everywhere. But that's one thing. And supply chains are very complex, so many players involved. You have companies only transporting stuff, companies doing a value-added service around a product, you got the retailer, you got franchisees, you got the consumer. There's so many people involved. And I think the digital ID is one thing, but at the end of the day, people are looking to be connected to a product, to a brand, and they need data. So what we are adding to the digital ID to the product is what we call a connected product cloud. So the moment in time the product is born, this digital ID is attached. And from that moment in time, everybody who has access to that data can see lots of things. How was this transported? Carbon footprint. Where is it now? When can I have it? Where has it been yesterday? So the transport companies can better steer their fleets. Retailers can better manage their assortment. Consumer know, when is my direct to consumer shipment coming? It doesn't make sense to go downtown. There's so much value in having the ID, but also the information, the internet, that everybody has access to it. I mean, I think this is the first step for full transparency, what drives sustainability. And at the end of the day, this makes the planet cleaner. And I think that helps all of us.
Yeah, it really does put the consumer in a very responsible position, because now the consumer can really act on facts and data that are provided. And well, before he had to rely on what the retailer was pushing as information. That's really the disruptive move, is the collection of this data along the supply chain, as you just mentioned, and the connection with sustainability, water consumption to produce a jumper. What did the chicken eat before being in my plate, extra? No, that's really, really good examples and case studies.
I mean, imagine in food retail, sorry to interrupt you, Cyril, in food retail, over 30% of the food that is globally produced is ending in waste, 30%. If you would better know as a manufacturer, as a retailer, but also as a consumer, what's going on, having more transparency, you have the chance to change that. And I think we're all looking forward to change that.
Now, makes perfect sense to use technology to limit waste. Absolutely. What is beyond intelligent labels? What is the vision? What is the dream?
I mean, the vision, the dream is really that every item in the world, if it is a retail item, it's something in your car, when you travel to a hotel, whatever it is, you have access to it in whatever way you want. As a consumer, you may want to use your smartphone and do something, read something. You're in a sport, you're in a gym, you want to manage the device. You are traveling. I mean, we do it already. We are checking in online. So I think it's all about connectivity. Things will be connected to you. Things will be connected to other things. And at the end of the day, people shouldn't be scared. Having transparency has always been the first step to make things better. And that's a big vision. And honestly, we are already in the vision. It's not future, like George Orwell. No, it's coming. It's already on the way.
No, and yeah, I totally agree. And what I think it's really exciting about intelligent labels is it's a win-win-win. It's a win for the manufacturer. It's a win for the retailer. It's a win for the consumer. Win for the manufacturer because of their objectives in carbon, in sustainability. Win for the retailer because better supply chain and inventory management, and win for the consumer because they can make a choice based on their beliefs, on their choices in terms of environment, sustainability, etc. So it's really one of these technologies that has really worked and really embrace a vision of the world that I think is really aligned with where people want to move now. That also is not restrained to a Western world. They say it's very applicable to the entire world, even the developing economies. So that's really, that's really something, a technology. It's more than a technology. It's an ecosystem that really brought value to everybody and not just one segment of this value chain.
Fully agree. You could start in my team developing the market.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this also.
Thanks.
Uwe, thank you so much for your time today. Really great conversations, and I learned quite a few things on the way. Thank you so much. A last word maybe for people who will listen to us.
Oh, the last words is always something very special. Well, last word is really people shouldn't be scared about technology. This technology, intelligent labels and connected product cloud makes the world better.
Thank you, Uwe.
Thank you, Cyril. Thanks for your time.